Bill Gates is spraying airborne mRNA on dense urban populations and rural areas with low vaccine uptake, according to a commercial airline pilot who has come forward to blow the whistle on chemtrails operations in North America and Europe. As the globalist elite find it harder to convince humanity to submit to COVID mRNA shots and endless boosters, they're having to find deceitful new ways to force their mRNA on us. According to pilots familiar with the scheme, the new airborne mRNA, known as AirVax, is designed to deliver the vaccine right into people's lungs, bypassing the need for injections and the need for consent. According to whistleblower pilots, who reveal that governments are working hand in glove with the military and private contractors to operate the top secret operations. According to one commercial airline pilot who's been doing in-depth research into chemtrails, there are thousands of people in the US, and as many again across Europe, who are involved in the business of chemtrails, most of whom have some idea of what they're doing. Speaking anonymously, with his voice digitized to protect his identity, the pilot, who asked to be called John, explains that many people within the aviation industry are fearing for their lives.
Everybody working in aviation understands the stakes are high and whistleblowers get whacked. There are thousands of these people and none of them are talking. You've got the pilots, many of them are military or ex-military, and they know how to keep quiet. Then you've got commercial planes involved too. These guys have signed NDAs and they understand the gravity of what they're doing. They have to understand what they're doing because they sign dangerous goods declarations whenever there are hazardous chemicals on board. These commercial planes are modified with conversions that are easy to roll on, roll off. But these pilots, yeah, you know what they're doing. The same goes for engineers and air traffic controllers. They can't not know. Chemtrail planes don't appear on flight radar. A lot of people have noticed this while watching a plane leave grid-like patterns above their houses in the countryside. There's no trace of the plane on flight radar websites. Ghost planes. So air traffic control and the government and military are all involved. Because if they weren't, an unregistered plane not appearing on flight radars would be taken out within minutes by Air Force. We've been looking into this because we started hearing reports from colleagues that something had changed in the storage facilities on board, and they weren't signing hazardous goods forms anymore. In the US, the military is spraying mRNA. From what we understand, mRNA is being sprayed in remote areas and cities where vaccine uptake is lagging. In Europe, we hear that it's a combination of military and commercial planes. Many of these guys don't understand what they're doing, but we know that in the US, the military has been spraying chemicals on populations for decades now. Our research suggests that mRNA is a military-developed product, and the cover story involving Moderna and Pfizer was just for cover. In reality, mRNA was a DoD and deep state product made in conjunction with the globalists around 10 years ago. The Project Warp Speed, 8-month production schedule, that was all kabuki theater. Part of the grand plan to brainwash the masses, force them into mass formation psychosis. So it's no surprise the Pentagon is involved in administering mRNA to the masses.
What else are they spraying? As John explains, they've done tests in Europe using mass spectrometry to analyse the residue that settles on cars and windows during periods of heavy chemtrail pollution. The results from Europe are disturbing to say the least.
It's important to understand how toxic this stuff is. We're talking about graphene oxide, aluminum oxide, barium, and mRNA. These are some of the most toxic metals in the universe. When I saw the results on these tests, I became radicalized. There's no other word for it. A fire was lit inside me. I've been researching ever since, and this is very dangerous, but I quickly realized that I'm not the only one in the industry, far from the only one, who wants to expose this.
Chemtrails aren't the only crimes against our children and crimes against humanity. They are also crimes against the natural world. The chemicals from the chemtrails land on plants and get into the grass, which animals are then eating. You won't be surprised to hear that Bill Gates is a key player in the plot to deliver airborne mRNA to the masses without their consent.
There are a lot of companies that apply for geoengineering contracts, and when we've looked into their funding, it always leads back to the Gates Foundation. From what we understand, Gates is fanatical about disseminating mRNA far and wide. He's also developing ways to lace the food supply with mRNA. So we're experiencing a two-pronged attack at the moment.